Hello friends, and welcome to the another lecture on construction economics and finance. And today we will see the topic concept of time value and money and discounted cash flow. So in the previous lecture we have seen that the what kind of construction industries are there and how the economy and how the finance are related with the construction industry, and how construction industry is helping to grow the nation and helping in terms of finance, helping in terms of growing the economy and GDP. So today we will see the concept of time value and money and discounted cash flow. So before starting the lecture, I would like to introduce myself. I am Ameya Khedikar, working in the Department of Civil Engineering at Tulsi Ramji Gaikwad Patel College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. So let's see the concepts of time value of money, how the time is associated with the money, and how the concept is. There might be some thoughts when you listen about concept of time value of money. A lot of thoughts come to your mind, but we'll specific ourselves to the construction industry and the construction sector. So basically, the time value of money, TVM, is the idea that money available at the present time is worth more than the same amount in the future due to its potential earning capacity. I'll explain this when we'll give some relative example. So I'll go through it first. This core principle of finance holds that provided money can earn interest, any amount of money is worth more than sooner it is received. In the first paragraph itself, I can give you one example related to first paragraph. That, for example, I have invested some amount in by purchasing one plot in a good area. For example, of rupees 10 lakh rupees, but in future the value will not be 10 lakh rupees, it will be more than 10 lakh rupees. So it is based upon its future due to its potential earning capacities. So the time value of money is the idea that money available at the present time, means money invested at the present time, it will be worth more than the same amount in the future due to its potential earning capacity. So this is the principle of time value of money, and which financially holds that provided money can earn interest, any amount of the money is worth more than the sooner it is received. The time value of money is an important concept in financial management. It can be used to compare investment alternatives and also to solve problem solving loans, leases and saving. Okay. So it's very important as far as the financial management, and it is used to compare the investment alternatives and solve problem for loans and savings. Time value of money help us in knowing the value of money invested, what kind of investment is to be done and what we have invested. To analyze this formula is used. As time changes, the value of money invested on any project firm also changes. It may increase, it may decrease. Okay, for example, if you purchase a land, it will having appreciation, but in the flats and other structures it may depreciate the value. That depends. Hence we have called it as a potential area of work, and its present value is calculated by using mathematical formula which tells us the value of money with present time. So this is the formula which is used to calculate the present value of the money. So PV is the present value, FV divided by 1 plus I to the power n, where PV means present value, FV, that is the future value to be received in the future, I is the discounted rate, where the to the power n stands for number of periods until FV is received, future value is received. All right, so this is the now why. Very good question is there, why we need to go for the calculation, or why we need to estimate the time value of money, why it is so. So there are certain reasons like risk and uncertainty, then inflation, then consumption, then investment. So we'll see one by one. So the time value of money is very necessary because of risk and uncertainty. So as we know that the future is never certain, and we can't determine the risk involved in the future, because outflow of the cash is in hand as payments, where there is no certainty of future cash inflows. Whatever the cash we are having today in hand, that doesn't mean it will be available tomorrow with us. That's why necessity of investment is there, and once you are investing, that means we need to estimate the time value of money. Okay, and second one is inflation. Point number 2, inflation. In an inflation economy, the money received today has more purchasing power than the money to be received in future. Whatever today we are having, it is easy to invest today. But you cannot assume every time that you will have the same flow of cash in your hand every day, every month, every year. No, not possible. In other words, the rupee today represents a greater real purchasing power than the rupee in future. All right. So, consumption. Individuals generally prefer current consumption to future consumption. Whatever you want to buy tomorrow, you will definitely prefer to buy it today. Okay. You can't say tomorrow, it will be available of same cost or not. Investment opportunity. An investor can profitability use the received money today to get higher return tomorrow or after a certain period of time. So investment opportunities, as far as the investment opportunities are there, an investor can profitability use a received money today to get higher returns tomorrow or a day after or a certain period of time. Let us say one example. If an individual is given an alternative either to receive 10,000 now or after 1 year, it will prefer 10,000 now. This is because today he may be in a position to purchase more goods with his money than what he is going to get for the same amount after 1 year. So definitely he is preferring today, okay, because he knows that, because today he may be in a position, tomorrow he may be not. That's why. Now we'll see the importance. Okay, what is the importance of estimating time value of money and why it is so necessary. First one, in investment decisions. Of course, we are investing lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees and crore rupees. So we must know the investment, the potential and the expected outcomes. Moreover, first one we'll read first in investment decisions. Number two, in capital budgeting decisions. So in the investment decisions, okay, small businesses often have limited resources to invest in business operations, activities and expansions. One of the factors we have to look at is how to invest is the time value of money. See, basically in the small businesses, even or the lower or smaller medium enterprises, as far as investment is concerned, while taking this decision, we need to estimate the expected outcome. We need to estimate we need to analyze the how to be invest. Rather, what is the outcome? We need to focus on how to invest. That's why in investment decisions, the value or the importance of time value of money is very much important. Next, in capital budgeting decisions. Let us say when a business chooses to invest money in a project such as expansion or a strategic acquisition or just the purchase of new pieces of equipment. It may be a year before that project begins producing a positive cash flow. The business needs to know whether those future cash flows are worth or the upfront investment. See, basically while taking the decision for purchasing any instrument or for procurement in the company, we need to analyze it. Or for example, for a small firm, we are making a lot of investment in the procurement and we are not getting enough funds and projects in the future, so that ultimately leads and increases the pressure, financial pressure and financial liabilities. So in that case, loss may be there. So in capital investment or in the capital budgeting decisions, we need to analyze the value of time money and where there is a lot of scope and importance of the time value of money. For example, we will now have an example. So this example will showing method how time value of money is used by the firm in making different decisions. Companies apply the time value of money in various ways to make yes or no decisions. Absolutely right. On capital projects as well as to decide between competing projects. Two of the most popular methods are net present value and internal rate of return, popularly we call IRR. In the first method, means present value, net present value, NEV, you add up to the present value of all cash flow involved in a project. If the total is greater than 0, then the project is worth doing. And in the internal rate of return method, you start with the cost of the project and determine the rate of the return that would make the present value of the future cash flow equals to your upfront cost. If the rate called the internal rate of return is greater than your discount rate, the project is worth doing. Otherwise it is not being good. The conclusion is the higher internal rate of return will be always better. Okay, so in the net present value, okay, your present value should be greater than 0, and in the internal rate of return, the The value should be greater than the your discounted rate, otherwise you should be in loss, you will be in loss, remember that. Okay, now valuation concept. Okay, time value of money establishes that there is a preference of having money at present than a future point of time. It means if an individual is given an option A to receive 10,000 now or option B after 3 years, he will prefer 10,000 now because although the common amount is same, but you can do much more with the money if you have it now, because over time you can earn more interest on your money. By receiving 10,000 today, you can increase the future value of your money by investing and gaining interest over a period of time. For opinion B, you don't have time on your side and the payment received in 3 years would be your future value. Now to understand this, it's also example in very simple language. Now for example, let us imagine a case where I have identified 1 crore rupees of grant for establishing a construction firm, but I have two options, whether to give 1 crore rupees now or 1 crore rupees after 3 years. What would be your choice? I'm damn sure all of you will ask today only, because whatever amount you will get today, 1 crore rupees, you will invest it and after 3 years you will definitely get more than 1 crore. So there is less probability of choosing the option B. Alright, so everybody will have it today, they will invest, and definitely after 3 years it will be more. Okay, and if you are choosing option A, means today only you want money, your future value will be at least 10,000 plus, okay, or 1 crore plus any interest acquired over the 3 years. The future value for option B on the other hand would be Rs 10,000. So how can you calculate exactly how much more option A is worth compared to option B? To illustrate, we have provided timelines. See, you can have a timeline. So if you get at the 0th day 10,000 rupees, so at the or in the 0th year you will get 10,000. So around at after 3rd year or in the 3rd year you will get 10,000 plus interest of 3 years, compound interest. But in the option B, if you are choosing option B, that means 10,000 at 3rd year, so you are losing all the interest on the first almost 3 years. So that is the difference of having money at present and tomorrow. In the continuation, we'll see, as per prefer to option A for receiving the amount and invest the total amount at a simple annual rate of 4.5%. The future value of your investment at the end of the first year is 10,450. As per the end of second year, it will be compound. It will be having interest of the first year, the total value and the interest. So it will be 10,920, and same continued as 3rd year, and as on the 3rd year the amount will be 11,411. Okay, so you can see the figure shows the value of money increasing with the time. So that's the justification of time value of money, and I hope you understood that how the time is been associated with the money. Okay, interest on the fixed deposit with increase from value, with the increase in value plus interest, compound interest. That's the way. In that way, I hope this image justifies that the how the value of money increasing with the time. Now let us have a small example showing the time value of money. So at the end of 3rd year, what amount we will get, or what will be the future value of 10,000 at the rate of 4.5 uniformly. Let us compare this with one example. For example, if you have invested 10,000 rupees to SBI Bank with the FD with the interest rate of 4.5, so how much you will get at the end of 3 years and with the interest of 4.5. So your formula is the present value is equal to future value upon 1 plus I stands for, you have seen. Okay, then to the power n FV. So future value is equals to present value into 1 plus I, that is investment to the power n. So where we are having present value is 10,000, I stands for that interest, 4.5 and 3 years. Okay, number of years. Therefore you put the value simply, so you will get the end of 3 years almost 11,411. so almost 1,400 will be the interest. Okay, that is the present value of money. Now there are some techniques, okay, techniques of time value of money. So there are two techniques of adjusting time value of money. So there are few techniques. So compounding techniques, future value techniques, the process of calculating future value of cash flows. In this concept, the interest earned on the initial principal amount becomes a part of the principal at the end of the compounding period. The process of calculating present value and cash flow. Okay, so discounting present value techniques and compounding technique, future value techniques. Now compounding, it's the process of finding the future value of cash flow by applying the concept of compound interest. Then compound interest, it is the interest that is received on the original amount, principal amount, as well as on any interest earned but not withdrawn due to earlier periods. And what is simple interest? It is the interest that is calculated only on the original amount, and thus no compounding of interest takes place. So that is the three basic terms. Now, so we'll see the overall conclusion of the importance of time value of money. So by all the above discussion, we get to know about the value of money with respect to time. We learn the importance of time value of money, how it will be help for making different decisions and which will provide profit to the firm. Decision making ability is justified by the implementation of time value of money. We get to know how future value and present value of money is calculated. What are the different techniques and methods for calculating time value of money? How comparison between different projects is done by the firm on the basis of return. Alright, so this is almost we have seen regarding the time value of money. And in the future, for example, every civil engineering budding students nowadays wants to become an entrepreneur. So entrepreneur, that means some amount of initial investment in the machineries and staff and etc. So you need now you have got the concept of time value of money, and I urge everybody even to think on this concept, and while making investment, though it's financial, construction, industry or whatever in your personal endeavor, you must think on the time value of money before investing anything or before purchasing anything. All right, so now we'll move to discounted cash flow. So what is discounted cash flow? DCF, discounted cash flow. What is it? It's a valuation method used to estimate the value of an investment based on its expected future cash flow. Alright, it is the valuation method used to estimate the value of an investment based on its expected future cash flow. Discounted cash flow analysis attempts to figure out the values of an investment today based on the projection of how much money it will generate in the future. So discounted cash flow method of analyzing future income and revenue streams. Discount these back to present value using time value of money principles. Okay. So it is a method measures all expected future cash flows and outflows of a project as if they occurred at the single point of time. Okay. The key feature of discounted cash flow method is the time value of money, interest, meaning that a dollar received today is worth more than dollar received tomorrow or in future. Now principle. Now we'll see the principles of discounted cash flow. So first, it's a method of analyzing future income and revenue streams. It is a method of analyzing future income and revenue streams. Discount this back to present value using time value of money principles. Basically, take the period, usually yearly, might be quarterly or monthly. Subtract money going out from money coming in, and result is a net cash flow for that particular period. So by subtracting money going out from money incoming, which give you the net cash flow for a particular period. So that is the formula which is used to calculate the discounted cash flow, where CF is the cash flow upon 1 plus discounted rate to the power 1 plus CF 2 to the power 2 divided by 1 plus DR and so on. Cash flow to the power n divided by 1 plus discounted rate to the power n. It goes. Now basically two methods are there to analyze that or to employ the discounted cash flow concept. First one will be the net present value, NPV, and second is the IRR, internal rate of return. So first is the NPV and IRR, net present value and internal rate of return. So we'll see first the internal rate of return. All right. So another discounted cash flow technique considering the entire cash flow, also known as the yield on investment marginal efficiency of capital. Rate of return over cost, the time adjusted rate of return. It is the rate that equates the investment outlay with the present value of cash flow received after one period, defined as the rate at which equates present of the net cash flow with the aggregate present value of cash outflow of a project. So basically it is the discounted rate which makes net present value NPV equals to 0. The major difference between NPV and NIR means the major difference between the net present value and internal rate of return is that in net present value NPV method, the rate of return denoted by K is known, but in internal rate of return IIR, the rate of return denoted by R is not known. Means in NPV the rate of return K is known, but in IRR the rate of return which is R, which is not known. It is to be ascertained. When the internal rate of return R is used for discounting cash flow, NPV becomes 0. Okay, and consider as the best measure of evaluating a long-term project. Okay, now the internal rate of return calculated in the two situations. Number one is even cash flow and second uneven cash flow. Even annuity cash flow, same amount is received earning. Determine payback period, investment divided by inflows. Check cumulative present value table, annuity table, and ascertain the factor that is equal to or close to the life of the project for 3 years lifetime concern. Determine the rate in percentage for the value, it is the IRR. To be more precise in the year now, find two annuity values or discount factor closest to the true factor, one bigger and other smaller than it. Okay, now internal rate of return in mixed streams, uneven cash flow, trial and error method. Check and assume interest rate, just assume it. Determine present value of inflows in each year, use the present table, inflow X PV factor. Find the total present value of the inflows, then compare it with the outflows. If both are same and the difference is 0, then internal rate of return of the project will be assumed interest taken to the first step. If the present value of the inflows is greater than outflows, then NPV is positive and take the higher value of R than that of the first step and vice versa. Repeat the step from 2 to 5 and continue the process till the net present value is 0. Sometimes the IRR may lie in between two rates, say 12% and 14%. Then the exact rate to be determined by the interpolation, by the method of interpolation. Okay, and formula for interpolation of exact internal rate of return is lowest rate plus positive value of NPV divided by total difference in NPV into difference in rate. So by this way you need to calculate the exact value of internal rate of return using interpolation. Now what is the acceptance rule? Okay, accept the project of IRR is more than the cost of capital or the cutoff rate or opportunity cost of capital. Hurdle rate is required rate of return where R greater than K. Rejects the project of IRR is less than the cost of capital or the cutoff rate or opportunity cost of capital. Hurdle rate requires rate of return. In that case, R will be less than K. May accept or reject the project where R is equals to or equivalent to K. Ranking of the projects ranked in the descending order of the IRR. When IRR greater than K, NPV net present value will be positive. But when the IRR less than K, their net present value will be negative, and when it is equal, it will be 0. So these three conditions are there as far as the acceptance rule are concerned. Now we'll see the merits of IRR. A popular method of appraising projects, since it is in percentage form. It's very popular and widely used method. A comparison of internal rate of return with cost of capital or cutoff rate is very easy. It recognizes the time value of money also. considers profitability of the project during the entire period of time, consistent with the shareholders wealth maximization objects. When the IRR is greater than the cost of capital, shareholders wealth is maximized. Okay, and as we know that nothing is perfect in the world, it has some demerits. So multiple rates, there are different methods for computing IRR. Each method may give different results for internal rate of return, means it is not perfect, it may be approximate calculation. In certain mutually exclusive projects, it may give wrong conclusions. Okay, and as in the cases of NPV value additivity, it is not possible. So thank you very much, friends. Students, today we have discussed upon the concept of time value of money, and how the time which is being associated with the money, in what sense we have seen with some example how the time is getting increased and with ultimately increase in the money, and we have seen the example with the 3 years of period that justifies the value of time with the money. And later we have seen the discounted cash flow, the methods, the acceptance criteria and all. So I hope you understood this, and thank you for patient listening, and very soon we will meet with the another lecture. So thank you very much, students. We'll meet very soon with the another lecture.